Wizza! Susie and the Banshee style. Hey, my beautiful crew. Welcome back to the Spiritual Social. I'm Lexi, your local light worker, and I'm so excited to bring you a new series, guys. Yes, I've promised you the series back in June, but there were a number of complications that stopped me from delivering the series to you earlier. I also had to receive a number of tarot and oracle decks to make this reading possible, and now I feel like all the elements came together. I am filming this during Sagittarius season. Venus is in Scorpio. It is the perfect time to focus on the blending between sexuality and spirituality. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Red Light Special. This is a series that is about sexuality. So I'll be discussing sexual obstacles, sexual imprints, potentially how your next sexual encounter will be with your future partner. I'll be looking at a range of sexual healing aspects, but also sexual empowerment. I am of the belief that sexuality and spirituality are intertwined. It is just that, well, the patriarchy for a number of centuries tried to divide the two and to try to consider that sexuality is something dirty while spirituality is something elevated. But we are nearing the age of Aquarius, guys, okay? Jupiter and Saturn are just about to enter into Aquarius, and we are shifting our awareness, we are raising our vibrations, and we are understanding the fact that we need both the body and the mind and the emotions, and we need to acknowledge all of them and how these relate one with the other in order to make us full and complete and happy human beings that are constantly in touch with the divine. So I generally feel that the more you are in touch with your body, the more you are in touch with your emotions as well, because we store a lot of emotions in our bodies. And our bodies are these fertile playgrounds for creativity, and sexuality is one of the most creative acts that we can do amongst many others. But in this series, I'll be focused on the interconnections between spirituality and sexuality. These readings can be seen either as a full, complete series, so feel free to binge on it once it is over. But they can also be seen as unique episodes. They are only for individuals that are above 18 years old, and I hope to make them as accessible as possible to cater for both men, women, and people who identify as in between. Okay, so bearing this in mind, I also want to let you guys know that, first of all, you can follow me at msbontemps for updates. Usually when I'm quite silent on YouTube, I update my stories every day, so make sure to follow me there for sneak peeks into future videos and new ideas and also astrological transits. I also have a twin flame novel. If you are in a lockdown somewhere in the world at the moment and you're looking for something enticing, inspiring, sexy, and romantic, make sure to have a look down below in the description box. There is a link that sends you straight to my twin flame erotic novel. It's available as an ebook, so you can quickly download it and have instant access to it, or as a paperback if you prefer the more sensual aspects of reading. So now that I got all of these things out of the way, I'm really happy to show you the options that I have for you today. So the first video in this series is going to take a look at your sexual imprint. What kind of like lingering sensual memory you leave behind on a lover. What might be the scents, the smells, the caresses, the things that you're really good at in bed, you know? What are things that people, maybe your partners, remember the most about you? What kind of defines your sexual identity? I also created a video about something similar, but I was looking more at your deepest, darkest desires in the series, the Dark Tarot series. Have a look down below. It was the episode that was related to Catwoman, so I'll link that down below as well. But let me show you the option. For group 1, we have here Goddess Innana, the Queen of Heaven and Earth. For group 2, we have here Goddess Isis, the goddess of magic. For group 3, we have Brigid, the goddess of the eternal flame. And I think that this is also pronounced Bridge, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have here, of course, Lilith, the first woman, the first wife of Adam. I pre-shuffled some oracle cards here to help me kind of get more directly into your reading, but I will live shuffle from these 2 tarot decks. This is the Decameron Tarot and this is the Royo Dark Tarot, just to have your guys' energies contribute in the making of this magic so we can manifest whatever messages come through. Okay, so without further ado, I think I said everything that you guys need to know at this point. I look forward to seeing you at your pile. I'm sending you so much love. Mwah! Hey group 1, welcome to your reading. I'm really happy to have you here, guys. I'm so thankful for your subscriptions, for your comments, for all the love and the support you are showing this channel. If this is your first time here on my channel, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you will enjoy the reading. And this is for those of you that were drawn to the Innana, the goddess of heaven, right? So she's a very, very ancient entity here on earth, created by people in Babylonian times. So let's find out what your sexual imprint is. I'm going to pull some cards from the Decameron Tarot to try to find out for group 1, what is their sexual imprint? Okay, we start off well. You got the 10 of Pentacles. I'll show you the cards in a second. Oh my goodness. Okay, and a slew of other cards, 3 major arcanas. In a second, I'll show you everything. I just want to pull some cards from the Royo Dark Tarot. Okay, for group 1. I'm getting red lipstick, touch on the hand. I'm getting naked shoulder. Okay, interesting sensual details. Okay, so let me show you the cards that you got. The 10 of Pentacles or the 10 of Coins. There is a feeling here of adoration, of being adored, of being admired. We also have here the Lovers. The Tower. The Chariot, the 4 of Wands, and the 2 of Pentacles. So first of all, I think that you have an amazing looking body. You could be working out, you could be maintaining a very strict diet. I feel that you really love your body, you love to decorate it, you love to take good care of it. You might, go for regular medical checkups, go for regular waxing and bleaching and dyeing. I feel that you really want to look like, a goddess most of the time. And this applies to men as well. You might take very good care of your body as a man. You might even feel slightly ashamed of the fact that you enjoy taking such great care of your body if you are a man or you identify as a man. I see here a strong focus on your breast. You could have very beautiful breasts. Maybe you have a tattoo around your breast or someplace in the middle or on the side of your breasts. I have a feeling as well that people love to undress you with their eyes. So maybe you had some sexual partners that were just very focused on your legs, your breasts, kind of like undressing you very sensually as they were staring at you. And I feel like you really enjoy that. I feel it's part of foreplay for you to feel like your partner is slowly undressing you just by staring at you. You did have here Innana, right? And her affirmations are, I have nothing to hide. I see and accept all that I am. So I feel that you really love who you are, and especially your body. You might struggle a little bit with accepting your defects. You could live under a very strong perfectionist streak. I feel a lot of you might want to just look very good physically, but you might struggle with kind of allowing yourself to just be naturally who you are. So I feel like you might never leave the house without your nails done or your hair done or your makeup, and you might find it generally quite embarrassing if somebody were to catch you off guard, like looking natural. But I have a feeling here that even if you are natural looking, people love to wake up in the morning next to you. Your partners might have really liked that, or, you know, if you never had a sexual encounter, they will really enjoy that. And I have a feeling here that as much as other people want to please you, there is an equal give and take here, because with the Lovers and the Tower card, I see here mutual satisfaction. I'm getting a very strong Libra vibe from you guys. So I think that those of you who chose group 1 could have a Libra ascendant, a Libra moon, or a Libra sun, Libra Venus as well. So you basically enjoy people that look good, that smell good, and you also like yourself to look good and to smell good. There is something here about your forehead. Maybe some of you, because I kept touching it, maybe some of you like to cover your forehead. You might actually have this complex about your forehead, thinking it's too big, which in general, I don't know, but popular belief would say that people with large foreheads are highly intelligent. But nonetheless, you might feel a little bit ashamed of it. So you try to cover it. Maybe you want to get a fringe or some bangs, or, you know, like you're very particular about your haircut because you're a little bit embarrassed of your large forehead. But I also think that with that forehead kind of indication, I feel that you really appreciate the visual aspects of love making. That's why you're so particular about your body. You want to look good, and you want to be with a partner that looks good, because that is part of the pleasure of making love. You generally enjoy a fit and healthy and athletic human body, and that turns you on. That's kind of already getting you into the mood. So you're very visual. That's kind of what I'm getting here. And you could leave a very strong impact on your partners. I feel that if you had sex before, partners remember the oral pleasure that you've given them, or the your hands, so the gestures of your hands, the manual pleasure that you've given them, if you want to call it like that, right? So potentially a hand job or a blow job. I do feel here that there is an emphasis on things feeling good. So you might wear fabrics that are like cotton, satin, velvet, things that just feel very good. So even before a person might undress you, they already kind of feel through your clothes that you're a very sensual person that enjoys quality clothing, right? So I do feel here with the feathers, the beautiful feathers that encircle Innana's naked body, you definitely could wear some maybe fake furs, or you enjoy like good quality Egyptian cotton, or like satin kind of underwear. I do have the feeling that you have some really beautiful clothes, and you might decorate your body. You could have some jewels, you know, at every point of your body. Maybe you could have like a belly ring as well. Maybe you could even have I think it's called a bindi, if I'm not mistaken. You could have all sorts of symbols. Maybe you like to wear a lot of rings. I do feel like you like to put a lot of jewelry on your body to decorate it as well. So tattoos, jewels. You could even have those washable tattoos that go away, so you don't necessarily need to have a permanent tattoos, you know, those golden ones. But yeah, very beautiful. And my mouth is watering. This is so strange, but I feel like people do think that you are mouth-wateringly gorgeous. So I have a feeling that even the way you walk, you might walk a little bit like with your hips, you know, kind of, you could have very generous hips and a large behind, and this is kind of putting some curves in your movement and how you walk on the streets, you know. And maybe it's because of your shoes as well. You could have very good looking shoes with high heels, which kind of slow the way you walk on the street, because that's the whole point of high heels, for you not to rush, for you to walk slowly and thereby look like almost like a moving statue, right? So yeah, I have the feeling like you embody all of those things. You know all of these tricks, you know, those feminine seduction tips and tricks. For example, that, you know, you should have very beautiful lacy underwear, that, you know, high heels really make you look statuesque and attractive, and they put that very nice slow curve in your walk. That you are not only open to receiving pleasure from your partner, and I do think that some of you fantasize about oral pleasure as well. Some of you also want to give pleasure, and especially your partners remember the memorable hand jobs or fingering or hand gestures that you've provoked on their bodies. I feel that that was really something that they took with them. So you smell good, you look very good, and I think that your ex-partners keep coming back because they haven't found somebody that holds their body to such a standard of perfection like you do. So there's a very classy, very sensual element. I'm also getting some Taurus energy with you guys, especially since we have here the 10 of Pentacles. So if you didn't identify as a Libra when I mentioned it the first time, I feel that you potentially could be a Mars in Taurus or a Venus in Taurus. Taurus Sun and maybe Taurus Moon to an extent, not so much, but I would say Taurus Ascendant potentially. You're just very classically beautiful. I don't think that, you know, like for as much as you might decorate your body with jewels, I feel that jewels are more important than tattoos in the situation. But some of you could have some ethnic tattoos, so maybe your hands could have henna on them, or you could have some sort of like as I said, washable golden tattoos. But there is a sense here of classic beauty. I think you don't really color your hair that much, or don't go crazy with eyeshadow colors like I did in the video today. Sorry guys, I just wanted to channel some Susie and the Banshees realness, okay? So I feel that there is something very earthy, very sensual. If you wear makeup, it's a lot about emphasizing your natural beauty and just making you look ultra sultry and seductive, right? So giving you that bedtime look, like maybe some heavy eyelids, but like neutral pastel colors. So I feel that, yeah, your partners, the sexual imprint you leave behind is like a memorable body, very soft, very sensual, very beautiful. Like I feel like your partners, if they talk to their friends about you, they would say, wow, she looks so good naked, you know, or like she's so good at the way she's touching me. It feels like it's a massage. Some of you could be very good by giving your partner like a foot massage as well. So rubbing them with your feet, rubbing their genitals or their sensitive erogenous zones with your feet. So wow, I feel like, yeah, you could teach some classes group one. Very, very beautiful. And I feel like your partner's sexual desire, because you look so enticing and so picture perfect, be very urgent, very immediate. So maybe you attract a lot of partners that are very masculine and very dominant or very feisty. And, you know, reverse it, flip it. If you are a man, you attract a lot of women that are very, they want to take control of you, of your body. They think you're very delicious. They get turned on very quickly, you know. So I don't think that you talk that much during the intimate moments, because my throat all of a sudden kind of clenched when I was saying those things. So I have a feeling that you're much more of a silent kind of lover. You just prefer to focus on how things feel and look and taste and smell while you are intimate with someone. And maybe you might want to talk afterwards. But something tells me that you might be a little bit embarrassed if, for example, a partner comments on your performance in bed after the act has finished. I'm not getting here a sense that you guys are very gregarious in bed. This is not at all. I don't see any swords energy. This is all about the body, physicality, sensuality, earth energy, and a little bit of fire. So yeah, but even then, I don't think that you get carried away to the throes of passion and have somebody slam you up on the wall or something like this. This is more about the artistry of making love. You want to look good, you want your partner to look good, and it's almost like you want it to look like in a picture book, you know. You might even want the whole act itself to be Instagram perfect, you know. Some of you could experiment with maybe videotaping yourselves or making some fun home videos, you know, while you are engaged in sex with someone else. So let's see what oracle cards I have for you. Let's see if they confirm or disconfirm what the tarot has been saying. We have here, ooh, clingy, give me some space. So again, as I said, you could have really beautiful breasts. There is the emphasis here on a lot of breasts. As you can see, breasts, breasts, breasts everywhere in all of these cards. Yeah, and here as well, he's cupping. So yeah, there is a very strong, you could have very beautiful bosom. So even if you are petite, even if you are more voluptuous, there is something just very beautiful and attractive about your breast. You know, they could just look very appealing, very perky, or I don't know, full of collagen. Are breasts full of collagen? Whatever. You know, something that makes them look very, very touchable. I think that's the word, yeah. And then we have here doable. The key is within your grasp. So I generally think that with this card here, doable, you really can help your partner finish, you know, complete the act, reach orgasm very quickly. And especially I think you do it with your hands. I think your hands are very beautiful, artistic hands, you know, with long fingers, beautifully manicured. And there's just something very, maybe it's the way you touch, the way you apply pressure, maybe it's something about your rhythm that just, you know, makes a partner complete instantly. So yeah, I do think that you are quite famed for that amongst your ex-partners, or with your current partner if you prefer just to have one person. So we also have here dreams, and it says vivid dreaming, dream messages, and dream teaching. I'm getting a sense that you could have a Neptune in the 8th house. There is a sense here of dreaming about sexual encounters and then just manifesting them. You could easily manifest sex or sexual partners just by thinking about sex, or by feeling a little bit sexy, and then you start walking a little bit sexy, or you might start contacting people when you're feeling a little bit hot and bothered, and that's how you just manifest sexual encounters. But I have a feeling you keep a lot of things to yourself. I feel like you have a very rich inner world, and you don't divulge so much about what you would like to your partner. There's an element of mystery, and I think this is what makes you so alluring. You could see how she's kind of like, there's a bit of a coyness about you, you know, you're ultra in touch with your feminine side, but at the same time I feel there is an air of mystery that just drives your partners crazy. Wow. And the final card I have for you is transparency, and it says here, honest, authentic, genuine, and present. So yeah, definitely with being present here, you give a lot to the other partner. You want to see them satisfied. You want to see them well taken care of. And you are quite particular about that. I'm also getting a little bit of a Virgo energy, but more like a moon in Virgo rather than any other placement. So you want to make sure that not only that you received pleasure, that you look good and you attracted your partner and your partner completed, but you also want to give them like a very good memory, that they will return to your touch, that they will return to you because they remember how your mouth fell, or how your fingers fell on them, or how your whole body felt. So this is a really powerful sexual imprint that I think you leave here. And the fact that you love yourself, because I keep being pulled back to the Innana card. So the fact that you're just like unapologetic about your body, you know, this is what you get. I am myself. I have nothing to hide. I accept myself as I am. It just drives people crazy, because you also have this mysterious allure, this promise. I think there's a promise in your eyes, this come hither look that says, I can make your dreams come true from a sexual point of view. And I think I wouldn't be surprised that a lot of people that you had sex with ended up falling a little bit in love with you, like crushing heavily over you. Like you could have people wanting to come back and they're a little bit obsessive. And this is why we have here the clingy card. It's like, give me some space, you know? because I feel that you would be quite happy detaching emotionally from the sexual act. I feel like you're this kind of person that can do both committed relationships, but then if those have finished for whatever reasons, you can, you know, have a couple of passionate flings. If the mood takes you, why not? You are very attractive, so I wouldn't be surprised if the offers are forthcoming, okay? So I feel like your partners also love how honest you are, how authentic, how just, you know, no bullshit. It's like, yeah, what do you want to do? Let's do it, you know? So I think that really turns them on, especially if you're a woman in a relationship with a man, because there is no element of shame or having to hide yourself, or I feel like your partner doesn't need to do all that work of trying to convince you to get your clothes off and that you're beautiful and can we just please get it on already, you know? Like you're just there, you're like taking your clothes off and you're like, look at me. I am here to fulfill your dreams. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting with your group. Very, very beautiful, very attractive. So your sexual imprint, group 1, is memorable. Okay, so that was the reading I had for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you in my next one. And I'm sending you so much love. Mwah. Hey group 2, hello guys, how are you? Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I hope you all enjoy this reading. Just wanted to say I'm so grateful for all the love and the comments and the support you've been showing my channel. It makes my heart sing. So I'm really happy to be introducing this new series to you guys. If you skipped over the introduction, this is called Red Light Special. It's a series about the spiritual and sexual aspects of, well, romance and lovemaking, and I will be exploring a number of themes in a couple of episodes. I think there might be about 6. This is the first episode. You can watch it on its own or as part of the whole series if you want to binge watch it. So this is for those of you that were drawn to the Isis card. Gorgeous. I mean, she's one of the most famous goddesses and truly the embodiment of divine spiritual sexuality. And her affirmations are: sexual energy is sacred. My pleasure is a prayer that brings me back to life. Not only that, but she brought her husband back to life by piecing him together and then making love to him. So rebirth, transformative energy. I'm getting very strong Scorpio energy with you guys, but also Leo. Whenever I think of Isis, I think of Leo, and Leo women in particular. They are so strong and so life-giving. So let's see. I was this close to getting into your oracle cards. Hey, I'm sensing a little bit of impatience. You guys could be really impulsive sexually. Yeah, I'm getting a sense that you enjoy sexy secret escapades. And I think it's because of the fact that you are quite sexually confident. If you chose Isis, I have a feeling that you're... Whoa! And as I said this, the strength card came up. Yeah, oh my goodness. One more, please. One more. Okay, doesn't want to give me one more. So I'm pulling some cards right now from the Royo Dark Tarot and from the Decameron Tarot. Oh my God. I'm so happy when my initial intuition is confirmed by the cards. So let me show you the cards that I got. The Strength card, right? Look at this. She holds a knife to this guy's chest and she pulled his head by the back and it's kind of like, surrender to me or face my wrath. And he seems pretty okay. He's like, yeah, I'm happy to give in to you. So yeah, as I was saying, the Strength card is the Leo card. Not only that, but you got the Sun card from a different tarot deck. So yeah, talk about Leo energy, Leo Sun, Leo Moon, Leo Ascendant. Also very strong Mars in Leo and Jupiter in Leo vibes, guys. So if you chose this group, I have a feeling you might have these placements somewhere in your chart. I wouldn't go so much for Venus in Leo, but let's just throw it in there as well, just in case this might resonate. I do have quite a large group and it's growing every day. So we also have here one of my favorite cards in this deck. So this is the Two of Cups. So this speaks about, I feel like you approach your sexual partnerships from an equalitarian ground, and I have a feeling that you genuinely feel that you love each and every person you had sex with. And if you haven't had sex with someone yet, you are preparing to have sex with a soulmate, you know? I mean, like you want the best of the best and you wouldn't settle for less. But at the same time, there's also like a cheeky side of you, because we have here the devil, right? So as I said, there is a side of you that kind of enjoys these secretive escapades. I'm reading for a large group, so maybe some of you are the ones that are just like, no, just sex with feelings and I won't put up for anything else. And others are like, sure, let's have some fun. Why not? You know, I mean, you're oozing confidence. You are really not afraid of anything that has to do with sex. I have a feeling like you might want to try a variety of different things. I have a feeling like your taste might be quite particular as well. Like maybe you discovered that physically you need to have a partner that is quite well endowed, you know? So it's kind of like you're kind of looking for that specific kind of partner. I have a feeling you guys could be very attracted to muscles and physical force. So you might want to be together with a partner that just looks very well built, you know, and like strong and capable, and like he can go on and on and on, you know. There might be some safe words involved in the act as well, you know. You might want to do it at night. You might want to do it in parking lots. You might want to do it in all sorts of, like, maybe even in the back of a club, or I don't know, wherever the mood takes you. It's like, yeah, sure, let's do it. Let's have this impulsive, fun, super sexy kind of energy. So very different than pile 1, who is not up for this smashing you against the wall and like throwing things off the table. You are into that kind of a thing, right? You could also be into light BDSM or even heavy BDSM. With the devil here, anything goes, you know, in terms of sexuality. Might experiment with a variety of different partners, maybe potentially 2 at the same time somehow, you know. So maybe threesomes could be something that you would be interested in. There is an element here with the Strength and the Devil card. This is an element of, let's see how much I can go. Let's see how intense I can go. Let's see how much my body can take, you know. And it's kind of like you challenge yourself sometimes. It's like, oof, you know, last night was intense, but maybe I can top my previous record, you know. So okay, I'm getting here an energy of Leo Scorpio combination, so as I felt at the beginning. But you could also have Mars in Scorpio conjunct Pluto in Scorpio, potentially even throw in Saturn there. So Saturn, Mars, and Pluto in Scorpio, that is such a strong combination. I mean, not only are you able to take a lot of sexual intensity, you seek it out and you provoke a lot of intense sexual orgasms in your partners. So this is the kind of lover that can go on for hours and hours and hours. And as I'm saying this, my cat is scratching her box. So yeah, confirmation, scratches, bites, whips, all sorts of things like that could be included. And you're like, fair game. It's like, this is fun for you, you know? I feel like the thing that you dread the most is vanilla sex. And some of you could be afraid of the joy and the romance that being in a romantic connection could give you. You might feel like, oh, but if I include feelings in my sexual acts, maybe they won't be so intense. Maybe I won't be able to come as strongly. But I have a feeling this is branching out, because there are so many people that are watching these readings. So as I said, for some of you, you never had sex and you're looking for only the partner, the soulmate connection that you want to give yourself to. Others of you, as I said, you're more experienced and you're up for sexual intensity and trying things out. And you might be afraid that if you go into a partnership, into a committed relationship, sex could become vanilla. But others of you, I think that this is the final frontier, finding a partner that you fall in love with and that you get to try all these yummy things with, because this is about partnership, see? And this is about mutual satisfaction, mutual pleasure. And I see here this applies for same-sex couples, for heteronormative couples. Take it however it resonates the most with you. But I have a feeling here that you guys, yeah, you could be as well into you know, master servant, kind of dominatrix kind of dynamics. I mean, this says it all, right? Look at this, look at this. So yeah, there are these two sides, right? The light and the dark. So the dark, the intensity, the experimentation, the, oh, what does this button do on your body, you know? And there could also be like some ghosting and some making your partner wait for it, or maybe some jealousy, some makeup sex, some really passionate romantic sex. You could just have a fight and strike an argument with your partner just so you can like rev things up a little bit, because maybe they got a bit too boring and stale. And that's a very common thing for people that have maybe a sun in Scorpio or a moon in Leo combination. It's like drama. They need that intensity, you know? But then there's also this really beautiful higher self kind of side to you, the sun, right? You're so warm and regal and generous and genuinely fall in love with your partners. I feel like you find something good in everyone that you had a connection with, and you end up falling in love with them, or you end up making them fall in love with you. This is such a strong sexual imprint that you have. I feel like people really remember your confidence, the way you handled them, the way you looked into their eyes. There is something here about, because I keep looking at Isis, right? I feel like people feel like you bewitched them. Like, I don't know, maybe you might use alcohol or some recreational drugs as well to just create this atmosphere of a complete full experience of immersion into the sexual act, you know, and then you can go for hours at it and multiple rounds and try and experiment with different things, different positions, you know, and you just completely blow your partner's mind. That's kind of what I see here. And you might even blow their emotional kind of stability apart as well, because yeah, if you're looking for a little bit of drama and you're creating them, I mean, you always keep your partner on your toes. There's never an element of, you know, oh, let's just cuddle in bed and read a good book. I have a feeling you're much more intense than that. You could love car sex, sex in nature, maybe sex in places where you guys can get caught. There is an exhibitionist element about you. You could love to have sex in a room full of mirrors, or maybe you guys might like to create some home videos about your sexual experiences, or you might even want to watch your partner masturbate in front of you and vice versa. So that's kind of what I'm getting with you. Wow. And I could feel like, you know, your energy is really direct and fast and passionate. I feel that you're not at all soft during the lovemaking act. I feel like, you know, you're really intense and quick and, you know, that's kind of what I'm getting, like that kind of thing, you know. There are a lot of like slapping movements, you know, slaps and slapping movements, and kind of like hot and fast coupling that I'm kind of getting with you, yeah? So let's see what oracle cards you have. Let's see if they confirm or disconfirm what I just said. Magnetism like a moth to a flame, definitely. So if you resonated with the Scorpio placements I just mentioned, you have this capacity to just pull people in. Like you could be walking down the streets and people go like, damn, you know. There is very strong, I mean, I think even when you don't want the situation to turn sexual, there's always kind of the potential lurking there, because there's just something in your eyes. There's just something in how you express yourself, how you move your body. It's like people constantly think about sex, and I think both opposite and a same-sex situation. So without you even realizing, you're just stirring people's fancy. You just leave a very strong mark on them. Then we also have here, wow, phenomenon. You are so powerful. I'm just tuning into this energy, and you're so powerful. I felt like this intense heat in my solar plexus when I said that. Look at this. Magnetism, phenomenon. Wow. You really live up to the Isis fame, right? To this goddess of magic, the sexual liberator, the one that can transmute energy. You literally can bring people back from the dead. I feel like if you have sex with a partner that's been a little bit depressed, or maybe you feel attracted to partners who look a little bit vulnerable, maybe they just came out of a, I don't mean like they look physically vulnerable, no, but like emotionally they could be a little bit, maybe they just got out of a divorce, or they haven't had sex for a long time, and it's kind of like you're just very pulled towards them, and they are irrevocably pulled towards you. And then as you're having sex with them, it's kind of like you're breathing life force into their body, and they all of a sudden feel sexually healed, or they feel like they enjoy life more afterwards. They start eating with more appetite after they had sex with you. They want to work out or exercise. It's like you give them a rush of energy, right? and they take that from the bed with you, or the situation, the sexual situation with you. They take that energy from that encounter and they're able to restart their heart, their projects, their plans, their energy. You leave such a powerful sexual imprint on these partners. And I don't think a lot of you told you about this, because I think a lot of them could find you a little bit intimidating, or a bit more, I don't know, scary. I'm even getting kind of like, I think a lot of people could feel that you're a little bit otherworldly, you know? Some of you could be Wicca practitioners, you know, witches, watching this reading. You might have selected this group maybe intuitively. And I'm here to confirm that, yeah, you leave a very powerful imprint on your partners. The final oracle cards I have for you, beauty. And it says here, grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. I feel like you're giving me life as I'm channeling into your energy, honestly. So I think that in time, as people get to know you, as they become a bit more accustomed with this duality within you, right? The devil and the sun, the light and the dark. I feel that people don't only see you as this powerful sexual being, but they start to see you as inwardly beautiful as well. And I think that your inward beauty comes from you having overcome so many challenges in your life. You're a very wise person and you kept your heart open. So even though you're strong enough to be like, I can take on any sexual act, you know, I'm not scared of anyone and anything, bring it on, you know? I feel like also heart-wise, you're like, but I love people, you know, like I love men or I love women. You know, I can love old people as well. I can love children. So you kept your heart open for many different forms of love as well. And you radiate this power. Because I mean, with the strength and the sun, and I just went like this. With the strength and the sun, it's kind of like, yeah, you could make your partners tremble or give tremors to them, you know, of excitement or passion or completion during the sexual act, right? So yeah, there is a life-giving force, definitely, 100%. I feel a couple of you got pregnant as well after some really passionate escapades, or you could be quite fertile. So I'm here to just let you know that, yeah, you could be quite fertile, and I have a feeling that your sexual encounters might lead to pregnancy quite easily, okay? So be mindful of that. But I think you're aware of that already. I'm just confirming this. And then the final card that I have, wow. I'm completely floored. So we have here divine sensuality. I don't know why, but this woman's face in this card always makes me think of Kirsten Dunst. And to be honest, my favorite movie with Kirsten Dunst is Melancholia by Lars von Trier. It's just, she was such a badass in that movie. And it was the same, right? She has, if you've seen that movie, I don't want to spoil it for you, but the whole movie is a large metaphor for life. And she also has this light and dark aspects of her character present in that movie. So yeah, have a look at that. That might be an additional thing that you needed to hear. Maybe if you watch the movie, you'll see some synchronicities or some important things might emerge. There is a really important scene in the movie where she's bathing by moonlight. So yeah, it's almost like a fantasy. But what I want to say with this one is like, making love, erotica. I'm getting the sense of like, erotica was Madonna's album, right? In the 90s. It was like one of her biggest successes, right? And she explored a lot with this kind of freedom of expressing yourself sexually. So for example, I'm thinking of the song Human Nature, right? So it's really sensual, really like you can both be submissive, but also the dominant one. I feel like in your sexual relationships, most of the time you are the dominant one, even though you might look quite petite and vulnerable and sweet. I feel like you can easily just, you know, take out the whip and just completely get your partners into submissive mode. And I think your partners adore you for that. I mean, look at this, beauty and divine sensuality. I'm kind of getting a Venus-Pluto energy from this. So again, there is this come towards me, I'm so beautiful, I'm so cute, you know, I'm adorable, but at the same time, once you're in my grip, you know, I get to decide what happens. So that's kind of the vibe I'm getting, right? Venus and Pluto, the Sun and the Devil, Leo and Scorpio energy, 100%. And I can't believe how all these cards kind of confirm each other. I mean, you know, I pre-shuffled the Oracle cards, but I haven't had a look at them, and the tarot cards as well, where I pulled them live. So such a full package of confirmation of the fact that you are a sexual and romantic badass of the finest kind. So that was the message that I had for you. This is the sexual imprint. I mean, I think your partners, years after they had you, they can't get over what happened, the energetic shift that they've been through, the transformation, you know, even if they moved on to other partners, I think you were, for a lot of them, the best that they had, or you will be, okay? So, wow, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm so happy. I hope this helped. I hope it resonates. Let me know down in the comments. I'm always curious to hear how these messages resonate, because you never know, you know, like I'm channeling out of the blue here. So I'm sending you so much love, so much light, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, group 3. Hello, my lovelies. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so grateful for your love, for your comments, for your support. It gives me such a great pleasure to introduce to you my new series, Red Light Special. I don't know why I pointed in that direction, because you guys are there. But I'm feeling really happy and really creative at the moment. So this is the first part of the series. It's called Your Sexual Imprint. I'll be looking at what makes you memorable, what kind of sexual and sensual and spiritual aspects you tend to leave behind on a person, you know, after you've exchanged energy with them. So you can watch this by itself or as part of the series. Feel free to binge watch it once it's finished, if I can actually speak. So this is for those of you that were drawn to Bridge. This is the goddess of the eternal flame. And I'm kind of reminded of that song, The Eternal Flame, right? Close your eyes, give me your hand, darling. So you could be quite romantic yourselves. Let me read you the affirmations. I am an eternal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. Kind of getting already a vibe that you guys could be potentially part of a group that believes in the twin flame journey, or you could be on your twin flame journey. So I'm going to pull some cards right now from the Dark Royo Tarot and the Decameron Tarot to see what is the sexual energy you bring into a connection. And if you are in a twin flame connection, what is your part in this? Okay, so there's a bit of a chaotic sexual energy because the cards fell like in completely weird ways, and some of them are blocked. I will unblock them for you. Okay. Yeah, it's a bit of a complicated sexual energy. I think a lot of you could be holding off from sex, or maybe because you're in a no contact or a separation kind of situation with your partner, there is a lot of pining and yearning for each other. So you have here the Eight of Swords, which is the card of sorrow, heartbreak. You're crying over someone. You're recuperating from a loss. So I don't think sexuality is that much on your mind. This could have been a three-party situation that broke your heart, because we do have here the Hanged Woman. So I have a feeling that there is a sense of nostalgia, of loss. There is a little bit of a sense of, you know, feeling like you might have been the victim in the situation. It's not necessarily a victim mentality, but you carry with you a sense of disappointment, of fragility in your sexual connections. Maybe you feel like you have to work hard to be intimate with someone. Maybe you feel like life is kind of blocking sexual connections from you. But there is a side of you that wants to explore some pretty freaky aspects. So yeah, I'm getting kind of two different things here. Potentially you might feel like your sexual imprint is not that strong, so you evaluate yourself in a negative light usually, because there's always somebody else that's better than you, or that you compare yourselves to, or you tend to attach your fancy to sexual partners that already have someone around them. So there's a sense here of blockages, limits, unavailability. It's kind of like it's limiting your capacity to really leave a strong sexual imprint on your partner. With the Eight of Swords here, I also see that there could be an element of sexting, of talking more about sex, of thinking about it rather than actually doing it. And there is a sense here of waiting, having to wait for a very long time for, you know, the physicality of love to manifest. Really interesting. We also have here the Queen of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. So I have a feeling that you might be placed into connections, usually with partners that are a little bit emotionally immature, and they need more experience, or they need to more like, they need more training. They need to go to sex school and learn, and then they come back and you give them a grade. It's kind of the energy that I'm picking up here, because I feel like you're quite passionate, you know. There is a freaky side to you that I don't think you had the chance to explore yet. I think you would shock yourself if you had the partner you wanted and the complete freedom to experience sexuality with that person in a loving, trusting, committed relationship. You might surprise yourself with the things you're going to find out about yourself, what you might like. I think that in general, you are very good at oral pleasure, and your partners remember that about you. So how you handled them, how your mouth was like, you know, things like that. They could fantasize about having your mouth on them, if you're a man or a woman. But there is a sense here of like mystery, of maybe fantasizing a lot about sex, but also kind of thinking of sex as being something illicit or something slightly darker, something that only happens at midnight or only under the covers or only on special occasions, you know. And I think that this comes from a little bit of an insecurity regarding sexuality. Maybe you grew up in a very religious family and nobody ever talked about sex. You only heard about sex, or you learned from watching some porn and you found that a bit disgusting, or maybe you didn't enjoy it that much, but some things did turn you on. So I think it's this kind of very strange contradiction within you. You're attracted to certain aspects of sexuality because, like us all, you are a sexual being, like it or not. But I think you're also conflicted about that, because I don't think that you enjoy certain aspects about it, or there is a sense of loss or pain or sorrow or disappointment, blockages, limits. But overall, I think that if you had sex, you leave a very strong impression on your partners, not as strong as group 1 or 2, but this is more about, I feel like you're quite, in spite of the fact that I have the Queen of Wands here, I'm getting a sense that you can be quite submissive, and this is something that your partners enjoy. So you might attract partners that are quite traditional. So you might fit into, if you're a woman, you might fit into that traditional, sweet and pretty, a little bit conflicted about sexuality, but then quite submissive when you get her in the bed. And that's nothing bad. I know that a lot of people attach negative connotations to being submissive, but I feel that it makes you feel safe to be with a partner that is more dominant and more protective of you and knows what to do. However, I do have the feeling that you tend to attract guys that are younger than you. So even if you're young yourself, you tend to attract a guy that is 1 or 2 years younger, or has not had so much experience with women, so maybe shy or kind of introverted or slightly nerdy or geeky dudes, and you get them into bed, and then it's kind of like up to you to take control of the situation. So there's a bit of a contradiction there. There's a bit of a tension. I feel you still need to grow into this energy, and even if you're slightly older, I have a feeling that you had a string of partners that were a little bit emotionally immature, and you didn't want to couple with them because I feel like you're on a quest for a soulmate, and you don't just want to have just sex for the sake of sex, you know? You want to connect with a soulmate. Yeah, let's pull some more cards from the Royo Dark Tarot. It's a bit of it's a bit of a weird energy, like hot and cold. Sometimes you get really turned on and you get quite excited at very strange things, I would say, or things that you wouldn't think you would enjoy it. Like maybe you really are turned on by threesomes, but a part of you is like, ugh, no, I would not do it. But then when you watch it, you know, it's kind of like, oh, interesting. So there's something here about being turned on by the thought of a sexual act rather than doing sex. if that makes sense. So yeah, your fantasy could be very rich. Okay. Yeah, and I'm having to pull the cards because they flip back into the deck. So there is a sense of you holding yourself quite tightly wounded, you know, like not wounded as in somebody, it's like you're winded up, right? Like you're protective, you're kind of like not wanting to open up so much physically. You might live in your mind most of the time, so you might not even be so into the body. So that's why if you're in the realm of the mind, any coupling possibilities can happen. You know, in the mind, we can imagine all sorts of things. We can imagine that we have sex with a pink dinosaur and a fluffy cloud on, I don't know, Andromeda, right? So the mind can create all sorts of permutations and, you know, all sorts of like different combinations of holes and penises and landscapes. But when you bring it down to reality, not everything works. Not everything that the mind can create actually works or feels good or gets you the desired orgasm. So I think this is kind of the contradiction that I'm seeing here. There is the desire very strongly, but there is also the blockage, because I feel like you don't live so much in your body, or you tend to get into connections where there's distance, there's separation, there's a bit of emotional immaturity, so you kind of keep your distance. We also have here the Seven of Wands. Yeah, there's a sense here that you want to keep yourself to yourself. You want to be like the cool, sexy Amazon, looking from the outside in and having always her bow ready to just defend herself if the need be. So maybe you grew up in an environment that, you know, a lot of women grew up with that tell you that, you know, you should watch out for men, they're dangerous, they only want one thing. And it's kind of like you grew up with the idea that you have something that you need to protect from men as you are working to make yourself enticing to men. See, so that's kind of like the traditional mentality, right? But I feel like you're slowly easing into this. I feel like you're learning about the twin flame journey. You're kind of opening up spiritually. You're becoming warmer to the idea that sex could be really enjoyable. And I think that's why you would find out that you're actually quite passionate, that you have a lot of, you know, hidden deep pleasures, some kinks that you might want to explore, but I feel like you haven't met yet the partner. We have here the King of Swords, so I think that you are going to couple with an open-minded guy, or okay, this is really strange, but I'm getting the sense that maybe you have Saturn in the 8th house or the 7th house or the 2nd house. There are some issues there, some hang-ups about your body, about sexuality, intimacy, trusting someone, shadow aspects that need to be cleared up first, delays, limits, and how you can have romantic partners. But I feel you are attracting, and especially after the age of 30 or 35 for some of you, you will be attracting a partner that is super open-minded, that is able to kind of, I'm getting a sense, like make you come just by the words he's saying to you. So again, this will be like a very mental connection. This will be a lot about talking about what you guys would like to do to each other. And I think you started off from there. So there could be sexting or a lot of flirting. And there could be exchange of photos. There could be some sex chatting, you know, whatever. There's something like mediated by some technological device, and there is some sort of emotional distance at first between you and this King of Swords, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. But then it turns into something more experimental. You will gain your confidence gradually, and I feel like you will just feel more relaxed with your sexuality, with your body, and you'll finally feel like, oh, the search is over, you know? For others of you, because I feel like it's branching out again, this happens in my readings because you guys are growing. Our collective, our crew is growing every day. We have here the King of Chalices. So you're attracting somebody that is pretty much the opposite of the King of Swords. So where this guy is very verbal and very communicative and very sociable, and it's like, oh, let's try this sex toy, and oh, let's try this position, and oh my God, that would be so much fun, you know? Potentially, if you guys bring another person into the situation, hey, you know. But another group of you is attracting a more traditional type. So as I said at the beginning, this kind of more dominant partner, a Scorpio, a Cancer, or a Pisces, a partner that is might want to marry you first, you know. A partner that is really sexually savvy, but on an intuitive, emotional level. So they might not talk about love, but they know exactly where to grab you and to kiss you and to apply pressure on your erogenous zones to get you going, you know? And this will be a person that can also help you overcome the shame of doing certain things in bed. I feel like some of you might be ashamed of giving a blowjob, even though you might be equally aroused by it. Some of you might be ashamed of, you know, bearing it all in bed. You might only think about sex as having sex with the, you know, the light off. And this person is going to be like, no, let me help you out. Let me show you how you can get over this fear and shame. So yeah, they're going to be very good at helping you get over some emotional hangups that you might have regarding sex. And I feel that this is a lot about overcoming the fear of sex or the fear of certain things, like letting go or letting loose or coming, or maybe even talking or screaming during sex. You know, some of you really need to detense yourself, because I feel like you've been very, as I said earlier, there's a feeling of your body being like almost like a fortress, you know, like you're wind up, you're closed, you're locked, right? So these two people, these two characters, I feel are gonna come in your lives for each group separately. Take the one that appealed to you the most, either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, King of Swords, or the King of Chalices, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. Either you are going to be more experimental primarily through the realm of thinking and talking about sex and having more fun with it, experimenting with sex toys and stuff like that, or this person is going to come into your life to help you get over emotional hangups. It could also be like a person that has a combination of this planet, so you get your twin flame, right? You get your soulmate, the counterpart you've been waiting for, somebody that combines the mind with the emotions. The emotional maturity with the capacity to express what it is that they want from you and they feel from you. So yeah, oof, wow. And when you're gonna let loose with this person, it's gonna be memorable. So your sexual imprint, I get a sense it's a little bit shy, it's a little bit diminished. There's a sense of disappointment, but still you are softly or vulnerably attractive. It's very hard to put into words, but there is a sense here of like melancholy about you. So let's see, what are the other oracle cards? Yeah, look at this, submissive heart. What was I saying about submissiveness? Yeah, so I am yours. You want to give yourself to your partner. You want to almost like, it's kind of like you're offering your body, like you know how they used to sacrifice virgins back in the days to appease the gods. It's like, I'm giving you my body. Do what you want with it, you know? But I feel like your partner, the partner that is coming up, the ones I described earlier, King of Swords or King of Chalices, is going to help you understand that sex is not a sacrifice. You don't just give your body to the other person. You can also feel pleasure in the act of submitting to someone. And actually, submissives in dominant submissive relationships are the ones that hold the most power, because there is much more power in surrendering to someone rather than having to control someone all the time, if that makes sense, right? You're the one that holds the upper hand. Through your relinquishing into the act, you're the one that kind of paradoxically has the power, because it's harder to surrender than to control. So we also have here, whoa, hex, be still and allow the enemy to reveal themselves. So this speaks to me about these limitations. Some of you might feel that you're cursed, that you're never going to find love. Why is it so difficult? I feel a lot of you had very tough conversations with spirit where you argued and you cried and you bit your knuckles and you're like, why am I like this? What's happening to me? Don't worry, be patient with yourself. You are meant to slowly grow into this. Maybe you have some karma to pay back, and that's why the waiting, that's why the needing to be patient, the tests in love and the limitations, the effort. But don't worry, you will receive a very beautiful reward for all this hard work you've been putting in, okay? And this is going to be meeting this partner that is going to feel like your twin flame, like your soulmate, right? And I also have here, oh, beautiful, look at this. So another confirmation, if you've been feeling hexed, if you've been feeling cursed or sent into the corner, right? I have a feeling that you will get your karma would lift. And as I said, I think your Saturn return is going to be very significant. And if you pass your Saturn return, the age of 35, in some cases, I don't think I have viewers that are that older, but if you are a more mature viewer, your second Saturn return could be the moment when you manage to overcome some of these intimacy hangups, right? So I see very good news here for you. You will be able to genuinely have and own a sexual imprint, but for you, it's going to be more that you will have this in the realms of a committed relationships with a partner that you've been waiting for so long. So it says here, heaviness lifts, burdens are cast away, a sense of weightlessness, right? And this is the deep wisdom of the whales, and whales transmute energy through their sounds. They're very wise, even as they are so heavy, but the water kind of holds them up, giving them a sense of floating, you know, feeling lighter than they actually are. So if you had any hangups about your body weight as well, I feel like you'll find a partner that will be able to treasure that within you. They'll be like, I'm fine with your weight, I don't really mind, you know. So this is really, really sweet. Don't worry, the heaviness will lift, okay? The karma will eventually dissolve. It dissolves for all of us as we get older. And I feel like you're gonna have a much more sexually fun and adventurous life, a bit more experimental, towards the later part of your life, or the middle of your life, so to say, because people live nowadays until they're 80 or 90. So 35 is like the first quarter of your life. You have so much more to look forward to, right? Wow, this was so strong. 2020 when I looked at the clock. So yeah, this is what I had for you. It was a little bit heavy, but I hope that you found some inspiration and some wisdom in this reading. I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Bye. Hey group 4, how are you guys? I hope you're doing well. Hello new subscribers, hello returning subscribers. It gives me such great joy to create this new series for you. It's called Red Light Special, and this is the first episode. It's going to be about your sexual imprint, so kind of the mark that you leave on your lovers, and the mark that you might or are about to leave on the lovers if you haven't had sex yet but you're fantasizing about it, okay? So this is the card that you've chosen, the really awesome, dark, divine, feminine energy of Lilith. And it's interesting because it's already kind of getting dark outside, even though it's just 4 p.m. where I'm filming this. But there is a sense here that almost the atmosphere got a bit more serious and dark. And I have a feeling that your approach to sexuality could be primal, but it could also be quite wise, like deeply wise. You could extract a lot of really interesting, wise lessons from your sexual experiences. So that was the initial hit that I got for your pile. So let's see the affirmations. I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. So this is about claiming your body, claiming your independence, and not allowing anyone to tell you what to do with your body. You could actually study some sort of feminist subject. You could be a lesbian. I have a feeling here that is a sense of maybe you're a sexual activist as well, so a sexologist, or you're fascinated by this subject, or you're into the fight for equal gender rights and especially sexual rights, right? Like the right to reproduce in the whole pro-choice, pro-life debate, you know? It's like you're putting a very strong emphasis on it's my body, it's my choice, especially if you're a woman or you identify as a woman, right? So it's kudos to you, you know, you're a badass. This is awesome. That's kind of what I wanted to teach my students as well when I was teaching gender studies back in the day. But I have a sense here that you're fiercely independent. You have your own set of values. You're not following any of the traditional patriarchal values that have been spoon-fed to you throughout your life. And you just like to help other women empower themselves and help liberate them, give them confidence. I have this image of somebody kind of sitting down with another woman and showing her, you know, this is the urethra where you pee, this is the vagina where you can experience sexual pleasure, but also through where you give birth. This is the anus, you know, that's where you could have anal sex for, but it's also the place where you can excrete, right? So I have a feeling that you have this kind of teacher-like educational effect on the people around you. I also think that maybe you were brought up either in a culture or in a family, or you educated yourself, taught yourself some quite extravagant values from a very young age. So when other children in school were learning about the birds and the bees, you were like, no, children are made with penis entering a vagina. You know, like you knew already the vocabulary, and you might have shocked your teachers and your peers. Who are potentially more mollycoddled by their parents. But I feel that you have a very strong understanding of sexuality and a very healthy approach to sexuality, okay? So wow, congratulations, people to my heart. So let's see right now what other energies I can pick up on by shuffling some cards from the Decameron Tarot and from the Royo Dark Tarot. Okay, so let's see, for group 4, my sexual activists. Let's see what's happening here. I am gonna say it. Some of you could be potentially quite active in this area because some of you might have been through some abusive experiences in love. The first 2 cards, this is the 7 of Wands, and then we also have, look at this, the 8 of Cups. Sorry guys, for a second I was like, do I need to count them? So yeah, as you can see, none of these images show me that she's having a good time during the sexual encounter. In this one, he's putting a hand on her face, and this one there's a knife, like this guy is threatening her with a knife. So in spite of the fact that you might have very open-minded ideas about sexuality, maybe you came across some very like predatory and toxic forms of masculinity, or take it as it applies, the opposite sex. If you're a man, maybe predatory femininity. Although those cases are fewer and far in between than, you know, the masculine ones, unfortunately. So there is a sense here that you might have had some negative experiences. You might fear sex, or you didn't enjoy the sex that you had already. I feel that you're very luscious, very voluptuous, and you could be attracting quite a large number of people, but you have to exercise discernment. You have to follow your intuition and be very careful about whom you go out with and whom you share yourself physically with, because not everybody understands that having a healthy self-taught and quite independent way of thinking about sexuality is actually a sign of being highly intelligent and being open-minded and forward-thinking. And that even if you have some very clear understandings about sex, that doesn't mean that you're a hooker or a whore or you want to share your body with everyone. But some people, unfortunately, you know, those that are highly immature or uneducated, they easily associate, oh, this woman talks about sex, then she's looking for it, you know, or something like that. So really, I feel like you had to deal with a lot of unsavory characters throughout your life. And I don't think that you were shown the proper respect that you deserve in some personal relationships. We also have here the 2 of Wands. So there is a sense that you're very physically attractive. People want to see you undress. There is something about maybe you cover your body up and people really are wondering what lies beneath that, you know? You could dress, if you're a woman, you could dress in very masculine ways, or you could cover yourself up. And maybe people think, oh, wow, this person seems to be making love to my mind as she's talking about all this sexual confidence that she seems to have and how she's detailing certain, you know, body parts or educating other women about other body parts. So maybe they think that you have like an extensive experience, but it could be that you learn these things from books or from reading or from watching, you know, I don't know, documentaries. Maybe you studied medicine as well, you know, or psychology, or you're fascinated about these things. You don't necessarily need to have experienced them yourself to know about them, right? Although I feel that some of you have a healthy amount of experience, but it's just the way that you're being perceived. I feel that you're being unjustly perceived. And this is so interesting because this is Lilith's fame. She's been, and look, the hair, right? It's kind of like things are not sitting into place. You're not being perceived at your true worth. Exactly like Lilith. Lilith was demonized by the church for so many centuries. She was used as a bad example, you know, to try to educate young women into submission. You know, the philandering first wife of Adam who disobeyed him and went to frolic with all the other beasts. But it's not like that. This is about, you know, Wicca practitioners have reclaimed Lilith. It's kind of like, I feel so impulsive about this, you know. I want to tell you so much, you know, I want to share so much because I feel like we're like-minded spirits. And I feel that Wicca practitioners, witches, astrologers, tarot readers, all these lovely people in this wonderful online community where we are now, we're reclaiming that back and we're saying no, you know. Lilith is a symbol of independence, of the wild feminine breaking free from patriarchal constraints, right? So this is absolutely wonderful. And also academic gender activists are using Lilith as a symbol of female empowerment and uprising, right? And revolt, feminine revolt against the injustices that, well, toxic masculinity and predatory masculinity has been spreading left and right. So if you did not have some sort of very toxic, rapey kind of experiences with men so far, I feel like you're an advocate for women who have fallen in the hands of predatory men. So there is a very strong sense here of you wanting to defend women that are weaker or more submissive, or they don't have access to education, or yeah, it's just, you know, their conditions are keeping them locked away, not their willpower. Because I don't think it's ever a choice when you're not being educated enough to know what your choices are, right? So you are really an advocate for those people. And take it as a man, you know, maybe you're part of LGBTQ groups and you're defending, you know, sexual minorities. You're trying to spread awareness about the stigma attached to sexually transmitted diseases being considered to be just as a part of a small group of people that might be gay or lesbians, but it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with everybody engaging in these in sexual activity, right? So I feel that, yeah, there's a very strong sense here of you wanting to defend, you wanting to protect someone, you fighting for sexual rights and the right for every person to claim their body and their power and not have anyone disrespect that or take away from them. So this is wonderful, okay? This is absolutely beautiful. But you could have some small as I said, you could have some small moments of disgust or moments of like, you know, regarding sex, mostly because there have been some unsavory individuals that kept coming at you because of your confidence and because of your power, okay? So never think that you're just attracting these kind of people because there's something wrong with you. No, no, no. Nothing is wrong with you. You are just misunderstood. That's kind of what I'm getting. Your power is misunderstood, but keep standing in it, okay? We need you. We need people like you in society. Then we also have here the Knight of Wands. So yeah, I feel that because of your sexual confidence, you could have attracted a lot of Knights of Wands, right? So maybe some players, maybe some people that were out to just have some fun. They really enjoyed your sexual confidence and they thought that they could just get you for a night and that's it. Maybe you intimidated them with their knowledge, so that's why they thought, oh, you know, I would just like to try this out, but not really commit to this person because she's too clever or like really badass. But I think that in general, you would tend to attract fiery signs. So Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo, they tend to be the most open-minded in terms of sex and in giving their bodies and experiencing their bodies through sexuality because they are the element of sexuality. And I feel that you won't always attract players, so don't worry. This is just part of your growth process and part of the process of learning how to be independent, stand in your power in spite of resistance. So you're generally growing into this role model for everyone around you. And keep doing this. Keep being an activist, keep educating yourself, keep spreading awareness, keep fighting for whatever gender or sexual minority you have taken on. I mean, I don't even want to call minorities, because again, even just saying that is patriarchal in itself. But yeah, you just keep doing this, keep fighting the good fight, right? And I feel that eventually you will attract a more mature energy than this Knight of Wands. We also have here the Three of Cups. So there are many things to celebrate in your life. Celebrating your sexuality, celebrating your freedom, your independence. I feel that some of you could have broken from very restrictive cultures where religion or community members were guarding your body and guarding your access to just allowing yourself to be feminine and beautiful and free. And now you're just celebrating that. Maybe you made the move from a more traditional restrictive Eastern culture to the Western part of the world, where you are allowed to just dress how you want and, you know, wear makeup and feel a bit more relaxed. That doesn't mean that you've eliminated all the dangers that could be potentially out there for women, because unfortunately sexual violence still is a thing. But at the same time, I feel that there are more reasons for you to celebrate. I could feel a sense of anxiety, you know, as I'm doing this reading, and a sense of impatience as well. This is so strange, but there might be these dual energies within you, right? The sense of, let me just express everything I have within me, because you're highly intelligent, as I said at the beginning, but at the same time, there is a sense of being a bit irritated or annoyed with how the world is ordered. So temper that down, you know, you don't need to change the world. Keep being an activist if you're genuinely an activist in this area. Keep educating, but also take time to enjoy life and celebrate and work at finding partners that are a bit better for you, you know? I mean, don't worry. You're not constantly going to attract only people that misunderstand you or are intimidated by your power or just want you for a hot minute. You will find a partner, okay? There is hope here with the Three of Cups. Let's see what the Royo Dark Tarot has to say. So for group 4, so your sexual imprint is that you tend to educate people about sexuality. You are very fierce, you're very passionate, very bold, quite intimidating. People always learn something from the experience with you. We also have here, what? There's some fruit flies. Oh my goodness, so I think you might be very sweet. This is so strange. They just popped up in your reading. I didn't have them before. It could be because I have some oranges on the counter table. So yeah, you are very sweet, but also quite zesty and citrusy. How should I put this into words? It's kind of like exciting, but also sweet, you know, because there is generally a humanitarian effort behind your actions. And I think people can see that you're well-intentioned. You're not doing this just because, oh, you want to dabble in sexuality and make people your sex slave. This is more about you want to liberate people's minds and mentalities, because you see the harm that is being done on people that are part of the LGBTQ community, all the stigma that they have to endure for being different, or women that want to be a bit more independent and have a variety of sexual partners. Why does the world have to punish them and try to make them fit into this mother for the rest of your life role? So you guys are really open-minded. We have here the Knave of Pentacles from the Royo Dark Tarot. Justice. I'm so happy that this card appeared in your group. So as I was saying, right, the activist, this is the card of the activist, and it's justice. It's Libra energy, fighting for Venusian things, women's rights, gender equality, an equal give and take, you know, contractual agreements that do not take away from women, maybe like in sexual discrimination cases, right? So this is so beautiful. I'm so happy that this card appeared here. You're a powerhouse. You leave such a strongly intellectual and educational imprint on your partners, and I feel that they have so much fun with you as well. I feel like you have these really passionate and open-minded discussions with your partners. They might teach you a thing or two, or you might teach them a thing or two, and no matter what your age or experience, I feel that you come across as very experienced, mostly because you're so intelligent, right? You like to take care of your partners, they like to take care of you, and you might even if you have just a one-night stand, I feel like you end up being either friends with benefits with that person, or you end up being just friends with that person, and they might generally include you in their things or their group of friends, so you kind of create large networks wherever you go. So it's really interesting. It's like friendship and sexuality combined. I'm getting very strong Aquarius vibes from you guys, but also Pisces as well. I don't know why I'm getting this kind of Pisces Aquarius combination. You could be a Venus in Aquarius. You could be a Pisces moon as well. Two very open-minded signs in terms of the borders between sexuality and intimacy and emotions and relating to other people. You know, it's kind of like, well, we love everybody. We want to take care of everybody, right? Both of these signs are very forward thinking in terms of these ideas. Unless you're the more traditional Pisces, which kind of makes you be a bit more religious and a bit more focused on just being with one soulmate and that's it. But I don't see here the sun sign necessarily. I'm getting more moon in Pisces, Venus in Aqua, moon in Aqua, Venus on the ascendant maybe, Libra energy a little bit, Mars in Libra especially. That's kind of what I'm getting. Yeah. Let's see right now what your oracle cards are. I'm so excited to see if they fit or not with the tarot cards. Nice. Feel loved and proud. I feel that you are such an amazing person, but your sexual imprint tends to be a little bit mysterious because I don't think so many people tell you how awesome you are, that you deserve love, that you are worthy of the equality that you are helping others achieve in their lives, that you deserve understanding and care and love, for being so strong, for being so competent, for being so well educated. So just so you know, you are loved. You deserve loved, okay? You are, you know, I'm proud of you. If nobody told you this, I am proud of you, just so you know it, just so that you've heard it at least once, okay? And I'm kind of getting a bit emotional, but just so you know, you need to feel loved and proud, and you should. You should congratulate yourself, and you should celebrate every small achievement, right? Even if it's just, I don't know, defending a woman or a man in public from sexual discrimination, right? Just something small as that, but it's quite important for that person. Or saying some compliments or making somebody's day, you know? And then we have here time and tide, oceanic spells and rituals. So yeah, I definitely think that you guys could dabble in the arts. So I think that your open-mindedness could have led you to be attracted to Wicca, to kind of learn some spells, some rituals to protect your energy, mostly because you've been attracting these unsavory characters. I'm sorry, burst of air in my throat. So yeah, maybe sometimes people have tried to kind of like stifle your voice, but no, keep on doing, keep on being yourself. The flow of people kind of challenging you and people loving you will come and go throughout your life, but you need to stand still like a beautiful statue almost, you know, and shine the light of your role model for other people to see. And I feel like, yeah, look at this sacrifice. There are those worth making, there are those that will destroy you. Wow, so I think this is a very clear indication about you picking your battles, you know? Fight the good fight, but don't fight with everyone all the time. And yeah, keep protecting your energy, and you can run the risk of not having to explain yourself all the time. You know, you can be a little bit mysterious. This leads back again to that feeling of just inwardly feeling like you are loved and proud of who you are. You don't have to demonstrate this to other people. You don't have to explain yourself, you know who you are, and you know being a feminist is something that every intelligent person should be, right? So you don't have to explain yourself. But unfortunately, I think that you end up doing this a lot of times because, yeah, a lot of more people need to be brought to a higher level of awareness. I can feel it. I can feel like a bit of tension in the belly because I feel the resistance that you come up against. Then we have here honor the masculine. Yeah, respecting men, embracing the masculine divine. So a very common misunderstanding that happens usually when people, as soon as they hear the word feminist, they think, oh my God, somebody that hates men. That is such a poorly misunderstood and continues to be widespread knowledge of feminism. There are so many different forms of feminism out there, from radical feminism to political feminism to gender equal feminism. There's so many different ways, but I feel like your specific niche is sexual rights and sexual equality. And especially that debate pro-life, pro-choice is something that I think is strong for a lot of you in your psyche. But that's the thing, you're popularizing healthy masculinity. You're also spreading the word about caring forms of masculinity, right? Ideal nurturing fatherhood, for example, rather than stoic, toxic, predatory masculinity. So there are so many different forms of masculinity, as there are many different forms of feminism. But I feel like you're spreading the word about the fact that you don't have to hate men to be a feminist. Every intelligent person knows that, or should know that by now. So it's like you're doing a very good job of both honoring yourself as a woman, if you are a woman, feeling loved and proud and owning your body, not allowing anybody else to disrespect it. But you're also spreading the word about, nurturing and loving gender equal relationships, okay? Honoring the masculine as well, empowering men to be more respectful to women because they benefit from having a partner that they respect and they love more than if they have a partner that they dominate and, are violent against, okay? So both sides are well balanced when there is harmony and when there is love and sexual openness, but also sexual respect. And the final card that I have for you, so we have here fusion, from behind. And this kind of makes me think that you also want a partner that is on the same level as you, and you want somebody that has your back, This is psychologically about somebody that has your back, and it could be transmitted into maybe this is your favorite position, you tend to reach an orgasm very quickly from behind. Maybe physiognomically you are designed in such a way that perhaps your vagina is placed lower in the back, so if you hit it from the spot, it's much more easier to reach pleasure and a sexual orgasm. There are cases like that. So I have a feeling that there is a sense here, a dual capacity of you guys wanting to fuse with a soulmate that also has your back, but can also give you a lot of pleasure and orgasms from the back. And this could potentially be your favorite position because it helps you reach or climax sooner, right? Wow. This has been amazing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was such a powerful reading. I mean, all of them were really powerful. But yours, I'm like, I don't know, wow, I didn't expect to channel something like this. I hope it resonated for some of you out there. Your significant synchronicity is number 11, by the way. Master manifester, pioneer as well. So I hope you can take this home as a really inspiring message. And I hope to see you in my next one, okay? Thank you so much for listening.